Customers coming into the dealership all the time, they always say to me, well, when you lease a vehicle, you don't own it. When you're financing a vehicle, until that last payment has been made, so in this circumstance on a 60-month finance, until month 60, you don't own the vehicle. So what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna break down in this circumstance why leasing might be advantageous to you, the customer. So let's get into the numbers here. So as you can see, in a 2018 Cruze lease, what we've done is we've done a 36-month lease. Right now the rate is at 0%, and the monthly payment's going to work out to $368.14, plus you pay your HST, which is $47.86. The total monthly payment, including taxes, is $416. Moving on to here, the exact same vehicle, your 2018 Cruze finance, 60 months at 0.49%, your monthly payment is $461. So in this circumstance, here's what you have to look at. The 3-year lease versus a 5-year finance. The payment difference between these two is $45. So in this circumstance, on a 3-year lease, which is 2 years less than this finance, you're gonna be saving yourself $45 a month. What's cool about a lease is you've got tons of options at the end. Some of the advantages of leasing are you're gonna pay for what you're driving. And what I mean by that is on a lease, you're only paying for the portion of the vehicle that you are driving. Where on a finance, you're paying for the entire vehicle. Now, some people will trade in that vehicle before it is actually paid off or at the end of your finance term, and a lot of the times, your trade is not going to be worth what you're owing on the vehicle. Lower payments. Typically on a lease, like we've broken down in this fashion, most of the time you're going to end up with a lower payment when compared to the equivalent finance term. Newer, sooner. Who doesn't like driving a new vehicle? Me personally, I like driving a new vehicle every 3 or 4 years. That's why I love leasing myself. And if you're the type of person that says, I think I'm going to trade this vehicle in 3 or 4 years, you're an excellent candidate for leasing, because like I said before, a lot of the times when you trade in a vehicle before it's financed and completely paid off, it's not gonna be worth what you owe on it. Warranty worryless. A lot of the times in a lease, you're not going to have to worry about being out of your warranty period, and that's because the terms are a lot shorter. Paying less tax. Who likes to pay tax? I don't like to pay tax. No one likes to pay tax. On a lease, you only pay tax for the portion of the vehicle that you're driving versus paying tax on the entire vehicle itself. Now this is a huge one, the option to buy. So at the end of the lease, if you're like, oh my gosh, I really love this Cruze, it's a fantastic vehicle, you have the option to buy this vehicle. You've got the option to return the vehicle and essentially just say, I don't want another Cruze, I want to get into something else. Or maybe you want the latest Cruze. You've got the option to essentially lease a new Cruze, and it's open-ended. Let's talk about the option of buying out your lease. So at the end of the lease, you're left with what's called a residual. Now your residual on this particular vehicle is $9,114.95. Keep in mind that this was a 3-year term lease. So if you decide at the end of the lease, I really love this car, I want to buy it out. This amount here, the $9,114.95, you can cut as a check for it. You can finance that difference, or you can get a line of credit, you can pay for it that way. You've got the option to buy out the vehicle at the end of the lease, or you can return it and you can get into another lease, or you can lease another vehicle. Things change, we all know that. A Cruze may not suit your need in 3 years. So after 3 years, you may need to move into a bigger vehicle, such as a Traverse or a Sierra or a Silverado or something like that. The advantages of a short-term lease is you're not locked into anything long-term. Now you do have the option to, a lot of people say, well, I want a really, really low monthly payment. You can finance a vehicle over 84 months, which has been available in the last 2 years, and that's a great option for some people. But if you're like me and your life is constantly changing, leasing is an excellent option. So to sum up the video, folks, what I'm going to say to you is leasing is a good option. And the nice thing about leasing is my job as a salesperson is to provide you, the customer, with the best option that's going to suit your needs. In this circumstance, the lease is a lower payment. You've got a ton more options at the end of the lease. It's a shorter term. You're within warranty. Everything that I stressed on in the video, leasing is a great alternative and it's an option for you, the customer.